You are ready to go.
Brother lads, welcome back to the Cossy podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to brand new video. Ricardo Calafiori to Arsenal, done, dusted. And we're going to be diving into this story in a very, very calm way because Arsenal have finally got some business over the line. According to Fabrizio Romano, according to David Stein, Arsenal and Bologna are now working on the final add-ons and the final structures as the player is expected to travel with Arsenal during pre-season. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. How are you feeling, Arsenal fans? I think this one is more about getting your reactions as Arsenal fans. It's been really frustrating, the markets, especially with the Ricardo Calafiori deal going on for weeks and weeks, days and days and hours and hours. And at some point in time, some of us thought maybe it's not happening. Maybe Arsenal need to move on. But yesterday, Gary Jacobs came out and said the player is actually back from holiday. He's expected to be with Arsenal during preseason. And that's when I said this one is pretty much done and dusted. Less than 24 hours later, it has been revealed by Fabrizio, it's been revealed by David Stein, and all the reliable outlets that an agreement with Bologna and Arsenal is no longer a problem. It's just a few things on top that are being discussed. And then Ricardo Calafiori is going to be officially an Arsenal player, right? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Pretty much excited on this one. Fabrizio was the first to break this story, and he came out and said that he understands now that Arsenal are now close to reaching a total agreement. A total agreement. Remember, we had already reached an agreement with Bologna for 50 million euros, but we were not yet there in terms of add-on structure and what comes first, right? So he says Arsenal are now close to reaching total agreement with Bologna for Ricardo Calafiori. Positive talks took place behind the scenes with players' agents Alessandro Lucci on it. AFC now confident to get it done. Personal terms remain agreed. Deal until 2029. This is where I'm gonna tell you guys. This deal, in my opinion, was done some days ago. This agreement was reached some days ago. But I also want to say this. This comes in from Matt Moretto, who says that Arsenal and Bologna have finally closed the distance on the final fee for the transfer of Ricardo Calafiori, with a total agreement between clubs now practically reached. Practically reached, right? Not hypothetically. Practically, the agreement is reached. David Stein as well, my boy, has also said Arsenal accelerating to sign Ricardo Calafiori now. Ricardo Calafiori from Bologna. AFC are now progressing with the situation, plus working to complete the deal as soon as possible, especially with other clubs looking for a similar profile. Not clubs looking to hijack the deal, but other clubs are looking for a similar profile. We know that Manchester United have been looking for another centre-back. We know that Chelsea are looking for a centre-back, the profile of Ricardo Calafiori, and a couple of other clubs. Ornstein says that the 22-year-old Italian international is the top defensive target for Mikel Arteta, as reported by The Athletic a couple of days ago. My people, what have I not said of all the things that have been said here? What have we not covered on this channel for the last 14 days about Ricardo Calafiori? Apart from the latest update, I think we have wonderfully covered this story from start to finish. Now, Arsenal's preseason starts in exactly 5 days. Our first game is going to be against Bournemouth on the 25th of this month, and today is the 20th. Arsenal were always going to speed up things. We're always going to work on these deals as quickly as possible. And yesterday I said this. The Telegraph, was it the Telegraph, the Times? Why do I confuse those two outlets? The Times reported that Arsenal will go with 2 new signings into preseason in the USA. Ricardo Calafiori being the major signing, but also a goalkeeper is seen as an inevitable part of this Arsenal tour. So a new goalkeeper is gonna come in before preseason. I do not know now whether today or tomorrow Arsenal then progress to sign Dan Bentley. I'm waiting to see that. But a goalkeeper and Ricardo Calafiori are both going to be new signings as we enter pre-season. Practically, it doesn't make any sense for Arsenal to go out there and they say, listen, we are actually going to sign we are actually going to sign a defender for preseason, but then we're not going to sign a new goalkeeper for preseason. We don't have a goalkeeper for preseason as we speak. All the goalkeepers that we have are in rest. They're on rest, they're on leave, unless Tommy Setford is going to be the guy that that we are going to use in preseason. I don't think so. So I think a new goalkeeper is going to come in, and Ricardo Calafiori will also be part of our preseason. Now, for me, this is a win for Mikel Arteta. This is a win for the manager. Yesterday, I was speaking to Glenn on his channel. We did a live stream at 10:30, and he was telling me that he doesn't really care and it doesn't matter for him whether we sign players early or late in the transfer window, as long as we get them in, as long as Arsenal get their players. And I'm like, yes, I remember, I think it was Edu who said, judge us at the end of the window. And I know there's no problem with us doing signings at the end of the window. I know that we don't have problems, and there are no problems with Arsenal doing signing players at the end of the transfer window. My problem with that is you don't get enough time to work with players. You don't get enough time to socialize these players and get them ready for the new season. Next season is going to be a hectic one for Arsenal. Much more games. Of course, the Champions League has more games now. And I think every competition that we play in now, we are going to be seen as favorites or second favorites in every competition we play. You look at the Premier League, we are definitely second favorites to Man City. You look at the FA Cup, Arsenal should be favorites to win that, because if Man City are concentrating on winning the Premier League, the Arsenal should be favorites to concentrate on win the FA Cup, and so is the Carabao Cup. And maybe the Champions League, Arsenal could be top 5 or even top 4 clubs that are being looked at as ready to win the Champions League. Arsenal, Man City, Real Madrid. The other clubs, Barcelona, Bayern, with the Vicente Company now, they're all behind us. So you've got to prepare in time. And I'm not against Glenn saying I don't have a problem with signings coming in a little bit late, or even if signings come late, it doesn't matter. For me, it matters, right? It's the same way Man City have dominated football for a very long period of time. Right now, they've already signed an electric winger in Savio. I think it's from Girona, right? So they brought in Savio, who is, by the way, their player, but they brought in Savio already, and you tip them to go and do some better business in midfield. They will add at least one more midfielder. So they have a good wing, they have a very good striker, they have a good midfield and a good defense and a good goalkeeper, good goalkeeping department. But they've also done signings, right? So I think Arsenal and Mikel Arteta were looking, can we beat Manchester City at their own game? So if you're going to beat City, you're going to have to sign players quickly and players early. So this is a win for Mikel Arteta, because as a manager, what he has done in the last 2 years, it's primarily admirable. It's very, very admirable what Mikel has done in the last 2 years, just to make sure that Arsenal, with whatever we have done in the market, we go toe-to-toe with Manchester City, and we make sure, by the way, that Man City don't have it comfortable. Because everyone thought, listen, Arsenal, they're not going to be able to go against Man City, and we've done it. So such a manager, you go, the only way to reward him is you go and sign his primary targets. You go and give him the players he deserves and the players he's demanding. And therefore, Ricardo Calafiori as a top target for Mikel, this is a good one. But I think also Arsenal have done a very, very good, I would say, marketing strategy here. Listen, with all the transfer frustration within the camp, how do you really say that Arsenal are going to sell tickets for preseason in the US because it's not exciting. Most of the players that people would love to watch, Saka is on holiday, Rice is on extended holiday. Who else? Raya is on extended holiday. Ramsdale is on extended holiday. Most of the big name players are on extended holiday, so there is no excitement. There is no sense of excitement in in people going to watch Arsenal preseason games. But when you sign Ricardo Calafiori a few days before preseason and you announce him a few hours before preseason, what that is going to do is just going to allow people go and purchase preseason tickets. I mean, who doesn't want to watch Ricardo Calafiori in that Arsenal jazz number? I don't know what's gonna put on. Probably 3. I don't know. Kieran Tierney used to put on that. Probably 3. He might put on 3. I still see Kieran Tierney leaving Arsenal. Everyone is going to be excited. Everyone is excited about this signing of Ricardo Calafiori. And I want you to, in the comment box below, to let me know, first and foremost, how do you feel, right? How do you feel with all the transfer frustration that has been going on? How do you feel? And secondly, after signing Ricardo Calafiori, who should be our next signing? Now, why I'm happy about this the Calafiori signing, for me, it's one or two things. One, I don't like Arsenal being laggards, and I don't like Arsenal being losers of the transfer window. The transfer window these days means much more than anyone could think about. Like Ricardo Calafiori coming into Arsenal means much more than anyone would actually imagine. Whether that be it's in our conversations as fans, in our banter ring as fans, on social media conversations, it means much more. But for our squad, why I think this signing is a very interesting one for me is that I'm looking at a scenario. I'm looking at a scenario where we have a proper left back, right? Because the Athletic have written this piece and they have said that Mikel is looking at him. I hope I could get that. I hope I could get that. They've written this piece and they've said Mikel is looking at him as left back, stroke, center back. So that already shows you that the vision is for Mikel to create a proper left-hand side of that team because it's non-existent. It wasn't there. Martinelli and Trossard, yeah, they tried last season. They did try. Trossard with 12 goals. But I really don't think that this was the best Arsenal could do in terms of balancing that team. And Ricardo Calafiori, guys, yes, Julian Timber is there and he's been a good guy and he's a good player. But Ricardo Calafiori is a massive addition to Arsenal, a massive, massive addition to our side. Because that means that we can now attack on two flanks. If you block us on the right-hand side, we can attack on the left-hand side. We can use Calafiori, we can use Rice, and we can use Odegaard, and we can use Martinelli and Trossard and Havertz on the left-hand side. And the same partnerships, apart from Calafiori and Rice, could be used on, apart from Calafiori, Martinelli, and Trossard, could be used on the right-hand side. So that means that teams now have to prepare. You prepare for Gabriel Martinelli, and you prepare for Saka. You prepare for Ben White, and you prepare for Ricardo Calafiori. You prepare for Rice, and you prepare for Martin Odegaard. It's a sensible signing. It's a very good signing. And right from day one, when Arsenal said they needed a left back, I didn't think that we were desperately in need of one. I'm one of those people who said, you could really get one, but even if you didn't, it wouldn't mean that much. It wouldn't be, a big deal. And I still think that not getting a left back wouldn't have been a big deal for Arsenal. But right now that we have Ricardo Calafiori coming in, it's a sensible transfer. It means a lot and it makes a lot of sense. And the reason that's why it makes a lot of sense is in that position, we have Zinchenko, we have Kivio, we have Timber and Tomiyasu. None of them really strikes me as a left back. Like, for example, I'll ask you, and I'll tell you this. If you're doing a combined 11 with a team like, which team has a good left back in the Premier League? Let's say Tottenham, right? Let's say Tottenham. If you're doing a combined 11 with a club like Tottenham, you really cannot make an argument for any of our left backs. Zinchenko is very porous defensively. Julian Timber is basically a right back playing at left back, and Jakub Kivio and Tomiyasu are center backs that are planted into left back. But with Ricardo Calafiori, he's had a big part of his career playing at left back, and that allows you to have a proper left back in the team. With Ben White already playing like a proper right back in the team, balance will be restored in this Arsenal team, and that's one of the things I like. So the price is I don't know what we are thinking about the price, right? I want your thoughts on the price. Because I might annoy you a little bit, or I might actually make you happy. So the price is 50 million euros. That is overall. So it's 42 million pounds. We're going to have a few add-ons there, a few things here and there to be added in the deal. I really don't mind those. I really don't have a problem with Arsenal paying premium money for a premium talent. So is it justifiable? Is 50 million euros justifiable for Ricardo Calafiori? I'm not going to lie. No, it's not. It is not. And this is the reason. I've looked at Manchester United being scammed with the Lenny Euro signing. Man United have paid, is it around 64 million euros? 62 million euros, I can confirm. 62 million euros for Lenny Euro. And I kind of felt like that's a little bit too much, right? That's a little bit too much, right? Fabrizio has just said right now on playback, right? Fabrizio just said right now on playback that we will pay 33 million, 0.7, and then plus 4.2 in add-ons. That is 37 million, 37.9 million. Okay. That's not bad business. That's not bad business, right? 37.9, so that's 38 million. That is less than 50 million euros. That's not bad, right? That's not bad. The reason as to why he's going for such a lot of money is this. Last season, Bologna got him from Basel for 4 million. And this summer, they have sold him for 33.7 million more than they bought him for from Basel. Obviously, Basel have a selling percentage that has been holding this deal back, according to some sources. But it's a good investment. 22 years of age, 33 million plus a few add-ons. That's good business. This is a guy, if he works out, and if this transfer works out, this guy could be an Arsenal player for the next 7 years. And I tell you, 7 years runs very, very quickly, because I'll tell you, Gabriel Magalhaes and Partey have been at Arsenal for something like 4 years, if I'm not mistaken, around 4 years. So 7 years run very, very quickly. So for me, it's good business. He's a young player. He brings something different, something we don't have at the club. And I think his playing style is one reason why Mikel Arteta said, hell no, to hell with this stingy club. Go and sign him. Right? Fabrizio has just said on playback, it's a breaking story. So I'm going to give you a lot of breaking updates. So Fabrizio just said that Ricardo Calafiori, in the last 24 to 48 hours, when he returned from holiday, spoke directly with the Bologna board, and he said, please let me fulfill my dream. Let me go to Arsenal. I want to go to Arsenal. This was the message from Ricardo Calafiori. Interesting. That is Fabrizio on playback. Obviously, he's doing a live stream on playback because it's sponsored, but that is the key message. So the player has been very key in pushing this deal. And I also still remember I was talking to Glenn, and I told him this is a deal that depends on how much the player pushes. This is the deal that's going to depend on, can Ricardo Calafiori really tell Bologna, let me go? Can he tell Bologna, let me go? Can he tell Bologna that at this point in time in the transfer window, I don't want to stay. I want to be at Arsenal. I want to go. And that's what he's done. And that's why this deal has gone through. So we are going to see him as part of our preseason. I wonder how Mikel is going to use him. We're going to talk about that. But I still think a left back, right? Or maybe at centre back with Saliba, and we could see a casualty, right? We could see a casualty. We might see a casualty in there, but we are gonna find out 100%. We are really gonna find out. But the good thing and the breaking story is that Arsenal and Bologna have reached an agreement for Ricardo Calafiori. It's 40 million euros plus 5 million euros in add-ons. That total package, right? The total package is 33 million pounds plus 4.2 million in add-ons, and that's going to be around 37.9 or 38 million pounds. Good deal for Arsenal. I think good deal for Bologna as well. They might say we've ripped them off, but this is a very good deal for Bologna. It's a very good deal for Bologna. They got him for 4 million, and now they're making a profit of 33 million. Come on, it's a good bid for Bologna. Isaac, Euro's price can buy Saliba, Tomiyasu, Kivio, and Martinelli. I mean, listen, I think for an 18-year-old centre back, Manchester United decided to invest heavily in the player. They really believe in him, right? Cossy, you have really tried reporting on this Calafiori deal. Please, who is the striker we are trying to get this summer? Because we really need a striker. Take some pressure off Kai Havertz's shoulders. Well, I tell you, thank you so much for recognizing the work I've done on the Ricardo Calafiori deal, because I knew it was happening at some point in time. Personally, was getting frustrated, but that happens when you're a creator. You always get frustrated. But this is what I'm gonna say. On the striker links, it looks like our summer is just starting. It looks like our transfer window is just springing into life, and we might see different things happen. We might see different deals happen in the coming days. So with strikers, I would still look at Victor Gyökeres. I would still look and get fixated on Victor Gyökeres. That is the one, because I'm not looking at any other striker right now. Yes, we've been linked with a few players in German, the German mystery striker and all that. But at the moment, for me, I'm still going to fixate on Victor Gyökeres. That's the player I'm still thinking about. Michael says, Cossy, this is done. Is this done or still in progress? This is done. This is done. John says, at least Calafiori deal done. Congratulations to Arsenal fans. Musa says, I'm very happy with the Ricardo Calafiori signing. And after this one, the next signing should be a striker. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Musa. John says, Cossy, thanks for the show. It's a here we go, because I have heard that Madrid is set to hijack after missing on Euro. No, Madrid, I want to make this clear. Real Madrid are not in for this guy. Yes, and I personally talked about it. I personally reported that Madrid were linked, but Madrid are not in for Ricardo Calafiori. And David Ornstein has said that just like the Len Euro deal that Manchester United did, within the next few hours, he should be putting up an Arsenal shot. He should be putting up an Arsenal shot. This is done, right? This is done. 100%, this is done. Madrid, they can go and sign Delete, is what I would say. I don't think Madrid are looking to invest high money, like 50 million euros, on a young 22-year-old. They were willing to pay 20 million for Len Euro. So Calafiori is double the amount of money that Madrid are willing to spend on a centre-back this summer. So Madrid are out of this. In terms of pricing, in terms of what they want to pay, they're out of this. I'm not saying they don't have the money. I'm just saying they are not willing. They are not willing. Okay, let's see what you people were saying. I mean, big up to you guys. Hit the like button. Let's get this one to 1K likes, since it's a final done deal. Anonymous says, finally we get our man. Thank you so much watching in from South Africa. Big up to the people from the from South Africa. Dixon says hi. Gabriel says at last. At last, yeah, at last we get our man. Mosa says hi, Cossy. Morning. How are you doing today? Brilliant. Very, very brilliant. Please, I hope we hear good news this weekend. It's already good news. It's already good news this weekend, and we are expecting better news to come. Mosa says, please, I hope. Okay. Isaac says, have you seen what Fabrizio just posted? An agreement has been reached. Okay. I've seen that. I've seen that as well, and I think I've reported that too. Adama says, Gunners, what are we waiting for? We have to play in the UCL. Still no changes. I think we're going to see more signings coming now. I think we're going to see more signings, coming now, right? So I'm really pretty intrigued to see who's going to be our next signing. Cossy, thanks for the show. Now that we are selling ESR, who could replace him? Watching you from Nebi, Western Nile. The replacement for ESR is rumored to be Mikel Merino. There was a story going around, right? There was a story going around that Arsenal could go in for Eberechi Eze and kind of do a swap deal, but it's going to be Mikel Merino that Arsenal want to replace ESR with. Grotek says, Cossy, thanks for the updates. Keep on updating us. Watching from Kenya. Big up to you people in Kenya. Patrick says, Cossy, how good is this man? Thanks for the show. How good is Ricardo Calafiori? I'm not going to lie to you. Ricardo Calafiori is a highly rated player. Highly rated. At the moment, he's got things that he does that many players at Arsenal don't do. Right? But we cannot really go and say he is at the level of William Saliba or Bastoni or Rudiger. No, we can't say that. But there is a huge possibility that Arsenal have signed one of the best young centre-backs on the planet right now. Arsenal could have signed the best left-footed young centre-back and left-back on the planet right now, to be honest. So that's why I'm saying that it's not yet time for us to go, yay, this is the best player on at left back. But in terms of his prospect, he's highly rated. Now, I wanted to talk about how Mikel Arteta could use him. And this is going to be very, very interesting because the debate is now, who do we drop? That's the question, right? Who do we drop? Ideally, Arsenal's starting 11 would have been Arsenal's starting 11 would have been Timber at left back. Tomias is on the bench, right? Gabriel, Saliba, and Ben White. That would have been our starting back four, right? That would have been our starting back four if we didn't get Ricardo Calafiori, if we didn't sign Ricardo Calafiori. And I want to share this with you. So the debate now, guys, and I want you guys to get involved. The debate is, who do we drop in this back four, right? Who do we drop in this back four? Right there. Right there. So who do we drop in this back four? And how do we set up with them, right? Who do we drop here? Because if Ricardo Calafiori comes in and you keep Gabriel and you keep Saliba, it's either Timber comes to right back or Timber is down to the bench and White comes into right, stays at right back. Alternatively, we could see Gabriel out of the team. We saw it last season, remember? We saw it last season. We could see Gabriel out of the team. Ricardo Calafiori comes in here, and then Julian Timber plays at left back. We could see that, right? That could happen as well. Alternatively, again, we could see Calafiori as a wing back, right? We could see Calafiori as a wing back. And then we could see Calafiori as part of the midfield. Not really midfield, but a wing back. And then we could see maybe Ben White as well as a wing back. And then Arsenal could play with the back three. So that would be Saliba, where's Gabriel? Saliba, Gabriel, and maybe White, right? And maybe White. So it's going to be very interesting how Mikel Arteta uses him. But if I was to debate who is going to drop out of the starting 11, because I think Calafiori is a starter. Calafiori is a starter. There's a reason as to why the manager has gone. He's my top priority. I want him, and I want him now, right? So he's a starter. So I think we are not going to see Timber regularly. I think it's Julian Timber. It's harsh, right? It's harsh because when he came in, Julian Timber was one of the players that we thought massive. But it's either, for me, it's between Julian Timber and Ben White. Is Mikel Arteta really going to drop Ben White? I'm not sure about that. I'm really not sure about that. So I think it's going to be Calafiori coming into the lineup at left back, and then White at right back, or alternatively, Julian Timber at right back, because with Ricardo Calafiori, you have a guy that can, dribble and, create a lot of overloads on the left-hand side, and then Timber can drift into midfield. That's the good thing with, with that. But I can see Julian Timber being not as important as we would love as we would love him to be. And maybe this signing makes Mikel Arteta a much better guy at rotating players. Maybe this signing makes Mikel Arteta a much better manager at rotating players. We might see that as well. So we wait to see. Sassy or Sese says good morning. Good morning, Cossy. Good morning to you, Sassy. Cleofras says Gabriel Jesus will bounce back. His feet like never before. Kai Havertz should come from the bench. That is one of the comments I don't agree with. Like 100%, I don't agree with. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this. I don't agree, right? I don't agree that. I don't agree that Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz should both be playing at Arsenal right now. I don't agree. Both of them should not be playing for Arsenal right now. But if you asked me, who would I rather have up front? I would rather have Kai. I would really rather have Kai because now both of them are very wasteful and both of them have zero finishing school basics. Zero. They are not among the clubs. They're not among the clubs I look at and I'm like, wow. They're not among the players I look at and I'm like, wow, my club has a very, very good finisher. No. But Gabriel Jesus, no. Now, listen, he's been working very hard on his fitness. His back is better. It's about delivery, right? It's about it's about delivery. It's about delivery. If he comes the next season, because he will start the season, so if he comes the next season and he delivers and he plays good ball, I'll say I'm wrong. But if and we're going to talk about Gabriel Jesus in the next striker update because the next live stream we're going to do is the next striker update. But for me, if you ask me, guys, Jesus, Havertz, I would swap them out and bring in Victor Gyökeres or bring in Victor Osimhen. 100%. 110%. Hello, Cossy. Is there a chance for us signing Nico Williams? At the moment, it's a small chance. I mean, you cannot close the doors on a club like Arsenal on the market, but it's a very small chance. Osman says, which nationality are you, bro? I love your accent. Wow. You will be very shocked that I'm Ugandan, but I don't know how my accent is that good. Zambia says, Cossy Kai is not the striker we need. We can depend on, and he's not better, and he's not better as Jesus. Okay. Peter says Gabriel and Saliba should never be dropped. Timber will forge his way into the squad, I'm sure, but may not be soon since Partey is remaining. Our goals conceded should reduce dramatically. Well, Arsenal didn't concede a lot of goals last season as well. So if our goals are going to reduce dramatically, then we are not going to concede any goals. Ahmed says, watching you from Uganda West now. Big up to you, Ahmed. Sasa says, as for me, Kai is better in front of goal than Jesus. And practically for me too. James says, hi Cossy, Calafiori deal has been stranded for long. It's good that we get our man watching from South Sudan. Big up to the army in South Sudan. OMG, Cossy, I love you so much. Thanks for representing our flag. Big up to you. Mother says we need a striker, not just a left back and a goalkeeper, bro. I think we'll get a goalkeeper. Very, very quickly. We'll get a goalkeeper. Nathan says, thanks for the show. The Ugandan English accent is ranked among the best in Africa. I think we should be the best. We should be the best, shouldn't we? We should be the best. Simpson says, but are we getting a striker, Cossy? Arsenal seriously need to get a goal poacher. I think we will get one. But it really depends on the market opportunities. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be back. We are back at 4 p.m. to talk about the striker situation. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. 4 p.m. striker situation. Subscribe. See you soon.